pierce my nose. Good in a glass, good on green, good when you're putting your hands all over me. I'm alright with a slow burn, taking my time, let the world turn. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be alright. If we burn it down and it takes all night, it's a slow burn. Yeah. In Tennessee, the sun's going down, but in Beijing, they're heading out to work. You know the bar down the street don't close for an hour. We should take a walk and look at all the flowers. 'Cause I'm alright with a slow burn, taking my time, let the world turn. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be alright. If we burn it down and it takes all night, it's a slow burn. Whatever feels good. Old soul, waiting my turn. I know a few things, but I still got a lot to learn. So I'm alright with a slow burn. Slow burn. Slow burn. I'm alright with a slow burn.
You say you like the wind blowing through your hair. Well, come on, roll with me till the sun goes down. Texas sun. Say you wanna hit the highway while the engine roars. Well, come on, roll with me till the sun goes down. Texas sun. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Everyone safe and sound? Anyone affected by that dreadful man, Alfred? It was very annoying. He sent us lots of rain. I'm literally in gumboots at the moment, like walking around. You need gumboots here. There's so much water. It's crazy. We don't have our driveway yet, so we've got lots of mud on the driveway. My car has to go into full drive mode to get out. Oh my goodness. All right. So got a really fun session today. So if you haven't watched the session, make sure I'm recording. Am I? Yeah, beautiful. If you haven't watched the session that we did last month on newsletters, I recommend that you go back and have a look at that as well after today, because that is there's two different. So last month we talked about a monthly newsletter or a bi-monthly newsletter, and what we would offer in that newsletter as some extra value, nurturing, nourishing our email list. So always thinking about what we can give back as well and where we can add value. So that's what I tend to, do my monthly newsletter as. For example, this month in my Yoga and Ayurveda business, I gave away a free course. I gave away Shakti Bloom. And I'll tell you a funny story, actually. Like that email and that newsletter got so many responses. It was really great. I had so many emails reply to me just after we were talking about it last month in the session on newsletters. I was like, oh yay, my strategies are working. What I just taught everyone. And I had so many great emails back from that, which was really, really nice. And I even had I had one of my Instagram followers reach out to me, and this is a really funny story. And she said, oh, I just need to share this. She sent me a really long message in Instagram, in my DMs, saying, Edwina, I just want to share this with you. I downloaded the free Shakti Bloom course that you gave in the newsletter because I'm a subscriber to your newsletter. Thank you so much. And she talked a bit about how she's going off to drink more herbal teas and go and buy some Tulsi tea and all these things that I talked about in that little mini course that I gave away for free, which was, and this is good information for you as well. I'll go off on a tangent. This is why I have notes usually, so I don't go on tangents. But that was Shakti Bloom was a free opt-in that I did, was a 3-day sessions that I did a couple of months ago. And what I did was I bundled that up into a program in the back end of Kajabi, into a course portal. And then I'm using that I use that to give to my email list as a freebie, and I'll use it to do some bundle stacks and things like that in the future with my Marigold membership. So this month they're getting Sacred Radiance, another month they might get that. So I've got that. I've recorded it once and I've got it there, and I can reuse it. Anyway, I digress. So she's messaged me, and she said, she was talking about the course and everything, and thank you and this and that. And she said, now my husband came up to me as I was watching one of the sessions, and I was listening as I was doing the dishes, blah, blah, blah. And he said to me, do you know an Edwina Peden? And she said, oh yeah, have you been? Yeah. And he goes, they're the people that just bought our granny flat. So we just bought a secondhand granny flat to build like a tiny home on my property here. And these people, this girl's been following me for a little while, actually. I've chatted with her before, and it's actually their granny flat that my husband's gone and bought. And we've never met them in person because I sent my brother-in-law and sister-in-law to look at it and to check it out and pay the deposit because it was too far for us to get to. And they live really close and we just couldn't get there. So anyway, so I've actually never physically met them, and her husband's been dealing with my husband. And now we find out there's this beautiful connection, and now I feel so good about it. So yeah, so it's just one of those beautiful things that these, serendipitous moments and connections, and so much good comes out from what we do. She's not necessarily a paying customer for me, but she's done lots of my free programs. She's been following me for a while. We've now bought a granny flat from her. So this beautiful circle and these connections and this weaving of touch points with people is really, really cool. So this is why email marketing and social media are so amazing. And this is why we do it, because if we really want to grow our business and grow our network and develop deeper, meaningful connections, this is how we do it. We can't just sit back passively and think that people are just going to come and buy our products because we post a social media post or we send an email. We need to also be really working like real people do and talking and chatting and building these relationships and whatnot. So now we've got this girl and I, she might end up joining my Marigold membership or buying something, or maybe she won't. But we've got this beautiful friendship and this sort of connection now, which wouldn't have happened that way if we just bought a granny flat from her. It probably wouldn't have happened because my husband was dealing with her and him, her husband, and now there's this. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a really fun story to share with you, to lead into today's session. Now, we have got, so that was off the back of my newsletter, so my monthly newsletter. So today what I want to talk about is sales sequencing. So love at first click. So emails that attract, engage, and sell. And now I'm going to follow my notes so I don't digress. We're going to go for about 60 minutes. It's going to be a workshop. We're going to do some workshopping. So if you've got a pen and paper, that would be really great. So you can jot things down, or if you've got your laptop, if you want to work directly on your laptop and type, you can do that too. So we're going to workshop how to craft soulful, strategic, and high converting emails. Now, another reason that we, like here are some statistics. If you weren't convinced about email marketing as being a really valuable tool for your business, I want to try and convince you a bit more, okay? So here are just a few statistics that you really need to know and get your head around. So email marketing has an average return on investment of $42 per every dollar spent. So if you spend $10 a month on MailChimp, okay, times that by 42, okay? So think about, what you're investing in time and money into your email, and start to think about, okay, what's my return on investment? How many sales am I getting? And this is where you're starting to think about how starting to think more strategically and starting to look at the numbers and looking at the stats on how you're going to get these conversions happening. So if you really want to dive into stats, it's important that you have an email marketing system that will track that for you and that you've got all those things ticked on as well. So it's really good to do that. I was working with a client just this week and we set up a free opt-in, a low cost opt-in, and a bundle deal. Okay. And the beautiful thing with this was we did the email marketing sequence and whatnot, and she hit launch on that, and she had within 2 emails, she had, oh, here's Lee. She had sold 2 bundle deals. Now that was a pretty cool quick win. Okay. So the beautiful thing is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more, she'd already been nurturing her email list. Okay. Like I've been doing with my monthly newsletter. So she'd been sending out monthly newsletters. She'd been sending out the odd, hey, I'm on this podcast newsletter. She'd been pretty consistent. I wouldn't say, as consistent as she could have been, but she was definitely consistent and had been nurturing that email list. And then she started with and she introduced her paid meditations. Now, those were going to lead into her higher price product as well. So she's got newsletters happening. She's got some low cost off. She's got a freebie. Then she's got some low cost offers and a bundle. And then she bundled those low cost offers together, which gave a little bundle deal. And then when she launches her, sorry, I've got little flies flying around. Then when she launches her big program, she'll have really nurtured that list. She'll have a few people that have purchased the bundle and got a bit of an experience about what it is like working with her. She's got people that have downloaded the freebie. So there's a whole strategy behind it. Okay, so this is why we're looking at, email marketing has quite a good return on investment. Okay, getting it right, putting the time and energy into it, and investing in a good email system. If you don't have Kajabi, which has already got it all involved inside, you'll have something else like MailChimp or Flowdesk or another one, Constant Converter or whatever it is. So that's the email marketing platform. So we can talk. If you've got some questions about that, save them till the end, because there'll be answers. There'll be time for Q&A, and I can help you, or we can also chat offline, but help you nut out what the best email marketing platform might be for you if you don't already have one, or if you're not quite happy with the one you've got, or you're not quite sure if you're getting the most out of it. I'm happy to help you sort of, troubleshoot or nut out what is going to be the best thing for you. People are 4 times more likely to buy. So 4 times more likely to buy from an email than social media. Okay. So that's pretty high. So they're more likely to buy from an email than social media. That's not saying we don't do social media, because the more touch points we have, the better. If you're seeing it on the socials, and then you're seeing it in your email, then it's all good. 60% of consumers say they've made a purchase because of an email. So 60% of consumers say they've actually made a purchase because of an email. Who's made purchases because of an email? I definitely have. Yeah, 100%. There's always something that just gets you there, and you just think, and you're there because email works because it's personal, it's direct, and it's distraction free. Okay, unlike social media where we go down rabbit holes or we get distracted and all the things, it's distraction free, and it's so much more intimate. Okay, it's really intimate, and as people are reading, they start. You can go a little bit deeper in an email, so it starts to feel like you're talking to your person, you're talking to your dream client. So, part 1. The art of the sales sequence. So what is an email sequence? So it's a structured series of emails that nurture, educate, and sell your offer. Okay, we're going to look at the magic formula in a minute. When do we use it? We use it in launches. We use it for evergreen sales. We use it when we're doing a workshop, like a freebie, a free webinar, or we want to sell a workshop. We do it for special promotions or sales, special sales like Black Friday sale or whatever it might be. So they're the times that we use it. Launches, evergreen sales. If you don't know what evergreen is, what evergreen means is it's something that you've got on your website that you sell all the time. So, for example, I've got in the Shakti Creative, I've got Instagram Alchemy, which is an evergreen, and I've actually got a funnel set up for that, which has got an opt-in, so a free opt-in, which leads to the email sales sequence, which leads to a sales page and selling the Instagram bundle deal. So that's an evergreen that I've got set up. So that's always available on my website, and it's always something there that people can purchase. And launches are obviously when we're launching, like we just did in Shakti Creative, we just launched our Yoga Business Accelerator, Katie and I, and we had a mind-blowing launch. It was amazing, which we'll share the insights and learnings and behind the scenes of that, I'm sure at some point with you, because it was a bumper launch, and it really, I'm going to go on a tangent, but I would love to share more with you about that later. I'm not going to keep going, otherwise we'll be here forever. I've got lots to get through. Okay, so what's the magic formula? So how many emails? When do I send the emails? This is something that I've been doing email marketing for, how long have I been in business? Probably 15 years I've been doing email marketing for e-commerce business and now for my online businesses. So Yoga and Ayurveda business and also my marketing business. So I'm doing it for clients as well. So lots of different businesses. So I've kind of worked out a bit of a magic formula that works for me. And look, everyone's a little bit different, and everyone's customer and niche and offers are obviously all going to be different. But the thing that stays the same here is buyers' psychology. Okay, the psychology behind buying and shopping and purchasing. Okay, so this is something that is pretty much the same across all industries. You've got your different, and I'll go on another tangent again, this maybe is another workshop we could go through, but there's like the different profiles of a buyer. You've got someone that just goes, yep, full body yes, just jumps in straight away. You've got the person that waits till the very last minute, and you've got the person that, you know, needs to know all the information's got lots of questions, a little bit unsure, and we can kind of liken them to the dosha as well. So you've got you know, your pitters are usually someone will just like scan all the information, they'll give it full body yes. Then you've got your vatas that tend to want to know all the information, or they're not quite sure, they can't quite make a decision, and then a kapha will generally wait until the last minute, okay, until they've got all the information, until they've ruminated over it, and they're like, oh yes. It could also be a little bit of a all rolled into one, a little bit of a, oh whoops, shit, I wanted to buy that, but it's now the last day, so I'm going to get it. So that sort of procrastination that comes in, but that's a whole nother workshop. So the magic formula is about 5 to 7 emails over 7 to 10 days. I find works quite well for me. Here in Australia, like there's a lot of American women and American men as well, marketers, American marketers, that the Americans go over the top with emails, and our Australian customer and client, we're just not up for that. Okay, we're just not up for that. We definitely need emails consistently, and we need more than you think probably to be able to sell something. But we definitely don't need 3 emails a day. Who's subscribed to someone's email list that sends like literally 2 or 3 emails a day? Like I've got people in my email inbox that I'm just like, oh my God, you again. And they just keep going to my promotions folder, and I kind of just start to lose them. E-commerce stores, if you're selling products, and there are a couple of women in the Shakti community that have product-based businesses, so I'll talk to that a little bit. You can get away with sending more emails more often and more consistent. So if you've got an e-commerce store, and this is what worked for me when I had an online store clothing label, I would send emails pretty well consistently 5 days a week. Okay. So I would send emails 5 days a week. I'd be sharing new styles, because, you know, in e-commerce as well, you've got lots happening all the time. You've got new stock coming in, you've got stuff selling out, you've got sneak peeks, you've got this, you've got that. So I would do about 5 emails a week, and they would be generally around one particular style of dress. And Daughters of India do it well. I love Daughters of India emails. They come quite consistently. And there's a few others at Yogi Peace Club. And there's a few others that do really well for e-commerce stores that are good ones to follow, that send enough emails to keep them top of mind. Because you think about how many times you've thought, oh, where did I see those yoga pants? Who made those? Or who made those earrings? Or who made that? And you kind of forget the brand. I do that a lot. But if they're consistently popping up in your emails, then you're not going to forget about them. Oh, Ella and the people that make my drink bottle, Ella and Earth, they do beautiful emails for e-commerce, and they're really consistent. They're not annoying. They're always beautiful. So anyway, so you can get away with a lot more emails in e-commerce, but still keep that monthly newsletter strategy, and sharing more about product or more on the blog or something like that. So it's not always selling, but you're also giving people a little bit of an insight into your business and how it works. You know, Daughters of India will always do share their women that make the dresses and how block printing's done, and, you know, sharing the process behind it. So make sure you're filtering those in through your emails as well for those ladies here with e-commerce businesses. But for those of us that are selling yoga or online programs or in-person programs and yoga classes, you know, weekly, you know, yoga classes, your standard studio classes, people that are selling retreats as well, those sorts of things, you'll probably want to be doing as launches. If you're launching a retreat, for example, it'll be a launch, so you'll probably want to have a small window where it's over 7 to 10 days, and you're doing those 5 to 7 emails over that sort of period of that launch window. If you're just selling, but if you're selling consistently, okay, so you're teaching in studio and you want people to come along to your classes, you want to fill your class seats, you might do a weekly, this is what's happening in the studio this week. come along to class. So you might do like a consistent weekly email. So similar to the e-commerce strategy, but maybe a little bit further spread out, or you could do a couple of emails a week, but just sort of consistently spread them out over the month. So yeah, but this magic formula, the 5 to 7 emails over 7 to 10 days, are for that smaller container of a launch as well. So a general sequence flow, and you can apply this to other things as well, but a general sequence flow would be share a story and build intrigue. So you want to hook them in with a personal a personal relatable story, something that they're going to go, oh yeah, that's me. For example, with my current launch, I'm in Marigold at the moment. I'm talking about my personal journey with my perimenopausal weight gain and weight loss, and my experience of HRT and diet pill, the diet inject, what's it called, that injection thing, like I've just did a post today about having thought about that. So sharing those personal stories there. You can also share in this space as well, you can share some stories of client transformations as well. So this is a storytelling email. Okay, so the first one, you want to capture that intrigue. You want to get people in and get them get them invested in your story. Okay, and in the launch, it starts to get them interested and invested. The second email will be education and value. So you want to educate people in this email about what the actual offer is, why I created Marigold membership, why I created the program that I created, why I created Breathe with Trace, because this is why, and then share that big reason why you actually created the program in the first place. And then you want to also highlight the value in the program. So you want to be highlighting the value as in, it's $29 a month and you'll get $250 worth of freebies. You'll also get and you'll start to talk about what's actually in the program and some of those, those real value added options there. So show why your offer solves the problem. So this is what's showing people, your dream client, this is what's showing them how it's going to get solved for them. Then email number 3, and this might not be email, like you might have a couple of emails that have stories, you might have a couple of emails with education and value. This is just sort of a bit of a process to flow, and you might weave these in and out, but this is sort of a general flow. Client wins and social proof. So this is really, really important. There's studies have shown that if you can show client proof and social proof of what your program has achieved for other people, this is really, really powerful. Now, you'll know that Katie and I do screenshots of messages. Like Trace gave me a beautiful testimonial about the Content Hub, and I've shared that on my in my emails when I've been selling the Content Hub. I've shared it on my socials, and that was literally a screenshot typed straight from WhatsApp that Trace sent me, or Instagram, or somewhere that you sent it to me. I can't remember, Trace, but they're the sort of things that will really give people trust and really solidify your credibility and what the program will actually offer. So it's really important that as you're going through your work in the world, that you're actually asking people for testimonials. Okay, so asking people for testimonials, getting that social proof. If somebody shares that they're doing, so another example is my Ayurveda Flourish program. I remember one of the rounds I did, the women were just sharing their, the little yoga setups at home. They were setting up their own yoga space. They were setting up their own altars. We do it in the Shakti Roadmap as well, where we set up in the beginning of the Shakti Roadmap, we build a Shakti altar and everyone sends me a picture or they share it on their social media. That's what we mean by social proof. We've got people in your program doing the work, loving it, sharing it with other people. And this sharing will, I'll give you an example. Okay, so this also comes back to, okay, so she's done it. I could probably do it, or my friend did it. So maybe that's something I want to do. And it could be what turns the switch on for someone. So my friend here, one of my best friends, Becky. So recently I had two tire blowout, three. I've replaced 2 or 3 tires on my car. dirt road, tires were worn and bald. Anyway, replaced two, spent like, I don't know, $800 on these two bloody tires, which was really annoying. And then my husband was driving my car down our driveway and something happened and a big stick went right in the sidewall of the tire. And it just like punctured the whole tire. We were like, what the hell was that? Got out, tire was flat, gone, dead. Anyway, my husband's like, fuck this. It's like, and I was the same. I'm like, I am so fucking over buying tires. We live on a dirt road as well. We're in the country and we do a lot more miles. And we were like, you know what? It's like, babe, just go and get these like big mud 4-wheel drive tires for your car. I've got a 4-wheel drive. I've got a Jeep. So it's a decent car, but we just had normal SUV tires on it. Anyway, so I went and got these tires and they look really great. Like even the kids are like, whoa, mum, that car looks awesome. Like it's so good. And it's made such a difference to my car. Like you did a wheel alignment. My car just handles like a dream. I actually feel so much safer on the road. Feels so much safer. We've got lots of bends here on the Lakes Way. So lots of bends. We've got lots of mud and dirt and rocks and everything. Anyway, at the bus stop, so Becky, my friend, she had a puncture in her tire and her husband's patched it, which is fine. This was like before Christmas this happened. She got this hole. Anyway, so we're talking and she's like, yeah, I don't want to spend the money on a new tire. I don't want to go and spend, $250. I'll just get him to patch it. We'll be right, blah, 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 carrying on about she didn't want to spend the money on a tire. Anyway, on one tire to get it fixed. So anyway, I rocked up at the bus stop with my beautiful mud fancy tires and she's like, oh my God, your tires are amazing. And I was like, yeah. And I told her the story about how much better they're driving and the whole thing I just told you. And how, and I was just waffling on about how amazing my mud tires. Who would have thought I'd be so excited about tires? Anyway, who am I? But anyway, so we were talking. And she's like taking photos of them. And she's like, took a photo. And then our other friend from the bus stop, Ange, has pulled up in her 4-wheel drive. And she's got new tires on her car too. So she's just gone and put 4 new mud tires on her car. And she's like, oh, yeah, you need to have them here because she's lived here a lot longer than us. And she's like, oh, yeah, you just got to do it. So they're expensive, but you need it. It makes life so much better. Like she was just like really pragmatic about it. She was just like, boom, boom, boom. So anyway, Becky's gone away. And then last week she's come to the bus stop with 4 brand new mud tires. And she's like, look at my tires. And we were like, oh my God, awesome. And she's like, I can't believe it, Joyce. Anyway, so the moral to the story is this social proof, or when you see your friend buying something or doing something, it gives you that bit more confidence. It gives you, oh, well, if she's doing it, then it must be safe for me to do it as well. Or, okay, I'll spend the money. So, Becky had the money there. She could have bought the tires, but until she saw Ange and I buy tires on our car and hear how amazing it was, she went, okay, I'll go and spend $1,300 on tires. So that's where social proof is so, so important. And you can share that, and that in itself, for me, is that story that I just told you as another really great example of the stories that we can be telling in our emails and our copywriting as well. So I could actually turn that in exactly how I'm telling you here, and I could turn that into an email to help me sell my Shakti community or to help sell the Shakti roadmap. Okay, so it's a real story. It's happened. It's got energy, and we're using it to, to sell our programs or to support the people in our programs as well. So that's a great example. So client wins and social proof. Okay. And another thing that you can do is you can take your readers on, a journey. So I'm thinking about you, Trace, for your Breathe with Trace program. For when you get back overseas and you start selling this again, you can take that case study of 1 or 2 people, or even, one person that's been through the program. You don't have to give it any names, but you can actually run through. So this one person did the program with me, and you can actually run through the whole experience that they had inside your program and add it in you can even do it as a bit of a case study. So that becomes really important if you're doing, full programs. And a lot of, people will do it when it's an 8-week program to transform the way you breathe or this or that. Maria's got a hand up. Maria?
Hi, Edwina. Hi, everyone. Just on that case study that anonymous kind of thing, do you still need to get permission from that person to kind of do that, or can you sort of do it as vague as possible that they might be like, oh, was that me? Or maybe that's not me. Like, I don't know. What's
Yeah.
the ethical thing to do there? Yeah.
I have a good relationship with most of them, with 99% of my clients I know to have a chat with in the DMs or email. And I would normally just ask, I would just say, look, I'm not going to mention your name, Maria. I just would love to share your experience. And then, you know what, 9 times out of 10, they go, oh, I'll write your testimonial, So it really depends on how personal and how sensitive the topic is as well. When it comes to mental health and trauma and those sorts of things, people are a little bit different, but
Yeah.
You can definitely ask the question and say it'll be all anonymous. 9 times out of 10, they're like, yep, no problem. No problem at all. I've got a client who I'm building a website for Louise. She's actually in the Shakti community as well. And she does hypnotherapy and counseling and whatnot. So she's got lots of testimonials from people that, we just don't put the names on, and they've given her permission and they've written it for her, or it's been a conversation by text message or whatever. And she's just gone, do you mind if I share this just without your name? And they go, yep, no problem. So it happens a lot. So great question. Thanks, Maria. Really great. Okay, so the next one is number 4 is objections and mindset shifts. So address fears and hesitations. So if and this is where it's really good to keep stock of the objections that people give you in the sales process. So then you can address them next time. I can't afford it. I don't have the money. That's the biggest one. Or I don't have the time right now. Okay, and I'll tell you one that I had just this week with our launch for the Yoga Business Accelerator. One of the ladies, and she watched this back, she'll probably know it's her I'm talking about. So I'm sorry, lovely, but hope you don't mind. But she, and this is a lady that I've been, chatting with for probably a couple of years since I started the Shakti Roadmap. She's been interested in joining on and coming on board, and it's never been the right time for her. So her default has always been, and I know that we've got things happening, and sometimes it's a real reason. For me, last year it was when we were moving. I just couldn't join a mentorship program with one of my coaches because I just didn't have the time, because we were literally moving and didn't know where we're going. So there are real excuses, but I knew that this was just a default for her, and she was a little bit scared to take on the extra work. And you probably all felt that as well, where it's just like, oh, I don't have the time. But I just said to her, I said, look, I understand it's a shame that you're not joining. So she said no. She said flat out, no, it's not the time for me. I've got lots going on, and I've already had a phone call with her about what she's doing, and where she's at. And I knew intuitively that she can fit it in. I wouldn't push if I didn't think so, because I'm not unethical in any way, and I will never push anybody to do anything that I don't think that they can handle. But I knew that she had the capacity. She's got grown-up children. She wants to scale her business, like now is the time. And I said to her, I said, look, lovely, I said, there will always be something else in the way. There will always be something that you feel like is going to be more important. You're going to be always busy. You're running a business. You're a spiritual entrepreneur. You're a yoga teacher. You are busy, like we are busy. There's not a lot of extra time. I said, but when you jump and say yes, you'll notice how your capacity expands, and you'll actually find the space for it. And then she turned around and goes, okay, I'm in. She was like, went from a no to I'm in. She just needed that reassurance from me that this is normal. And I've seen it so many times with women. It's like, we don't think that we've got this capacity, and we just retract for another thing on our to-do list. But then when we say yes, and we can sort of shift our mindset, and we can really expand our capacity, that's when amazing stuff happens. So that's what I basically said to her, and she jumped in, and she's in, and she's loving it. So really understanding and knowing what those objections are. Like, I know so many social media people and marketers tell you, handle their objections, or answer their find solutions for them. And that's all very well and good, but really knowing and understanding what that is, and being able to put that into words and write that in your emails is really powerful. So a little trick that you can do with that, like that comes with experience. The more people you talk to, the more people you message, the more you learn. And that's why, and this is a part of the sales process, which we'll do in another session as well. I think we'll do a sales session. I think Katie might be doing one in her Bhakti Business membership, actually. I can't remember. But is when you're talking to people, when you're reaching out to people, that's when you start to get feedback. And that's when you start to grow and learn as a business owner, as a salesperson. And that's where all this juice comes in. So you can start to really use that with your marketing. So you know there's people out there that you can help. What are their objections? What are their problems? What are you trying to solve? So that's the same with when you're creating your programs and running your email sequences for them. You know, what are those real problems that you're solving for them, and speak to that. Addressing fears and hesitations. Okay. And then the last one is your urgency and the last call. So it's a simple doors are closing soon, last chance bonus. Okay. So that's when you say bonuses are ending, doors are closing, and that's why it's good to open the doors and then close the doors, open the doors and close the doors. And I do this with my Marigold membership. We do this with Shakti Roadmap. So it's open and close, open and close. So there is that sense of urgency, and there's that sense of, you know, if you join now, you will get this bonus. That bonus is never coming back. Okay. So that urgency and last chance. And I will tend to do an email in the morning of that last day. And then, which is addressing problems and issues, and one last little chance to drop a story in and address some of their fears or hesitations. And then I'll do another email 2 hours before the doors close and say, lovely, just a reminder, doors are closing in 2 hours. In case you've forgotten, come on over. Okay. Writing emails that people actually want to read. Okay, this is an activity for you. I want you to now, so this is authentic storytelling for emails, and we've done this before, but let's do it again. So think of a time you hesitated to invest in something and it changed your life. So these are some prompts for you about some stories. I'll come to you in a sec, Lee. Think of a time that you or a client have experienced something because of an offer, or write one short paragraph of a personal or client story that could inspire your audience. So just thinking about one of those, you don't have to do all of them, but I will put these in the notes for those watching the recording and for you to come back to again as well. So think about those times. And a little tip here with this is think about your personality and who you are as well. Is there a funny story or an embarrassing story in there that they're going to remember? Like, it doesn't have to be just to think of something that's not so generic. Okay, maybe it's something funny that happened to retreat, or it's something funny that happened to you, or it's something totally unrelated to what you're selling, like tires, is totally unrelated to marketing. So think about those stories that pop, basically, that people remember. Lee, got your hand up.
Hello. Apologies for my tardiness. I was teaching, but I got here as fast as I could. I just have one question. Going back to your email sequence there, you mentioned about doors opening, door closed. With that very first email sequence, the one about the story, the hook, the personal, relatable one, would you be putting about the offer actually in there, or do you wait till the second email to launch the offer?
Great question. So there's always a call to action. Perfect. So that will be definitely a call to action. That's why I created this Marigold membership, blah, 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 definitely. But what you want to do is the second email will go deeper into the program and what it offers. Does that make sense? Does that help, Lee?
Yeah. So call to action always comes right away, and then you go deeper.
Yeah, definitely. Call to action on every email. If it's a sales email sequence, definitely a call to action from on every email. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to put some music on while you have a little think there of your stories. There you go, Trace. Sorry.
what you love. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. Now here I go again. I see the crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and have you any dreams you like yourself. Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you back in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you love, what you had, oh, what you love. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know.
Okay. How's everyone going? Has anyone got a story they'd like to share, and then we can workshop how we can into
I'm only partway through.
That's okay, Maria, you can definitely share.
It's a story about how I found Yin Yoga. And I didn't write the part that was the best part. I wrote the part leading up to it. But I've written, I'm not very good at writing, and I just kind of like flunked it.
Yep.
So it probably doesn't make any sense. But I had signed up to an online 200-hour yoga teacher training course. It was on sale, which made me feel good about the investment. And I had lifelong access. Great, I could take my time and fit in with my family needs and work demands. 4 months later, I was struggling to make progress. Not only did I constantly put it to the side, prioritizing all the other things in my to-do list instead of sticking to my plan. Hello, ADHD. But my brain just found it hard to organize all the things. I was struggling to sit in front of my laptop for hours at a time, watching videos and reading big chunks of text that just would not sink in. I found it confusing, daunting, and overwhelming. I felt like that I was never going to be able to be a yoga teacher. And then this is the bit I haven't written, but I wanted to go on to say that via social media, I kept seeing Annika's face pop up, like literally big smiley Annika face with gorgeous orange hair.
Yep.
And I just felt like I really vibed with her personality and how she would talk about yoga teacher training. And we had this massive long conversation over DMs. And she's like, just do it. It will get you earning your money back. We'll get you teaching and fitting it in with your family. And she can make adjustments for the way I learn, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, it's structured. It's 2 days a week. It's not super expensive, and it sounds amazing. The locations, not too far. And she just sounds so cool. I signed up, and it literally did change my life. Like, I quit my job. I'm focusing on just teaching yoga, and I just love it. Like, it's hard, but I love it. So that's the bit that I didn't get to write. I just kind of like verbally said that, but that's what I would have written. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Now let me ask you, so where do you think that story's leading to? What do you want to sell from that story?
Some workshops that I've got coming up. Yeah. Because I know
workshops.
the price for people. I've actually been struggling pricing my series of workshops with the person I'm working at their studio at. And just I feel bad asking for the amount of money that I've logically gone, oh, this is covering all my costs, this is how much I could get paid, this is covering rental, I have to charge this amount. And it just felt like a huge thing, probably because I'm not valuing what I'm worth and what I know people, if they'll find the money somehow if they really want to, but also it's like, well, I'm not good at marketing what people, the value side of it.
That's perfect. And we're doing a book in this community called Sacred Success, which is going to be amazing for you. Anyway, that's another story, but the whole money blocks are popping up for you there, and the whole I'm not good enough and whatnot. So if you're talking about, you want to share this story about how you came to being a yoga teacher, but what I'm seeing there is the blocks that you had to actually getting to yoga and doing the thing. You knew it was something that you wanted to do, and then yoga transformed and changed your life. So that's where I would tailor that story to. I know you might feel like, you can't get to yoga every week, but you know it's good for you like I did. You know you really want to do it. That's why I've put on these workshops. So they're a chunk. You can come along. I can meet you where you're at. And then these are the workshops, and then you can go a little bit about what they are. And then the next email would go more into detail of what the actual workshops were. So you've got that storytelling part, and you're really addressing in the beginning that you know that there are people that are overwhelmed, that are busy, that can't commit to a weekly yoga membership. So that's why you're putting on these yoga workshops. So thinking about how your story and the fears and the struggles and the overwhelm and the commitment and all of that business stopped you from doing your yoga teacher training, relating that to a yoga practitioner who can't get to yoga but really want to. So you're sort of making these workshops accessible for everybody, and you're pricing them well. And I would talk about that later on in the process in some of your emails, that if you're worried about that, you could address that, head on. You could just say, the reason that, I'm pricing these workshops so they can be accessible for all, and really go into the value of the workshop, what they're getting, your expertise, your nurturing, all of that sort of stuff as well. So you'll start to write down a list, and it might be really good for you, Maria, to write a list of all the benefits of your workshop. Okay, all the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom that you will bring to it, your personality, like people like you resonated with Annika. People will resonate with you and will just want to come to your workshops if you get that, let your true self shine through. And Annika does that really, really well. She really lets her personality shine. So people just want to go and work with her. They want to do her YTT. They want to be at her studio. She creates that vibe, that energy. So taking that, we can start to create that in our emails as well. Okay, does that help?
Yes.
You're on the way. You're on the right track. Absolutely.
I just need to get people on a mailing list first as well. But you can use this obviously in sales.
Yes.
You can shift it where you use this, I suppose. I know this is specifically for emailing lists, which I want to have, but the stories that they could be reels, they could be social posts, they could be, you know, lots of
So
things.
you did, Maria, did you do the Express program with Katie and I, or did you do the full program?
I did the Express program with you, and then I signed up to another program which I haven't delved in, and that had your Shakti creative things as well as Katie's
Bhakti
stuff. Yeah, Bhakti Business, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would recommend for you to do is go back to those trainings and teachings, okay, in the Shakti roadmap, where I talk about the free opt-ins and the social media aspect of that. And then Katie talks a lot about building out those free opt-ins as well. So I'd really recommend that you go back and look at those.
Yeah.
And then you can start to, that'll help you building your email list.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And you know what, the other thing is, you know, we just need to jump in and start doing it. You know, we just need to dive in, start doing it. The more we do it, the more practice that we get.
Yeah. Oh, you're frozen. Uh-oh.
So beautiful. Has anyone else got one? I'm conscious of time. Anyone else got something that they would like, or will I jump into the next section? Let's jump to the next section so we finish off in relative good time. So this is workshop subject lines that slap. Subject lines that slap you in the face, okay? So this is something that will make a huge difference to your open rate, okay? So open rate when we're in emails is when people actually open the email. Getting them to click on the link is the next step, and that's what you get through working and writing your emails. So the reason I've got the authentic storytelling for emails first and then the subject lines is I want you to write your emails and your stories first and then come back to your subject line. Because the problem if we write our subject line, I'm just going to plug my laptop in. So the problem if we just write our subject line first is we might just write a subject line that's a little bit naff, a little bit boring, and it might be a little bit too descriptive. So what will happen is when you write your email, it's going to give you so much more inspiration as when it comes to writing the subject line. So I've given you an AI prompt here. And this is a really good example. So you could think about, get creative, you know, the subject line, Maria, for your email could be, everything was stopping me from getting to yoga. This is what happened, you know, or something like that, okay? So it wouldn't be come to my such and such workshop. It'll be something that relates to the story that you've just told. So that's why it's important to write the story first. Then what you can do, and this will be great for you, Maria, with, you know, trouble writing things and everybody else, AI can be used so beautifully here, okay? If you're really struggling, and I used to really struggle, and I still do, on what to write for the subject line that's really intriguing or whatnot, you can ask ChatGPT, rewrite this subject line to make it more playful, intriguing, and click-worthy. So join my workshop would be, this might change your life forever. My course is open, doors just open, and I'm throwing in a juicy bonus. Okay, so that's some really simple explanations, but I would actually write something more like, stop breathing. I'm just thinking about some of the graphics I've been writing for you, Trace. Stop breathing like a fish. Looks cute on fish, but not so much on us, you know, like thinking about some really fun taglines, okay? Workshopping that. And that's going to be your homework because we're running out of time today. But I want you to go away and I want you to write your story. So write this first one that you've been thinking about on today's session, and then go through, pull out a couple of possible taglines that you could use that are going to be a little bit juicier than just join my workshop, buy my program. Ask AI to rewrite this line to make it more playful, intriguing, click-worthy, or whatever it is that you want. But that's a really good prompt for it. So you could even take this a little bit further. No, I want it more personal. I want it to involve this story. Okay, you can even drop into AI the email that you've written, get AI, get ChatGPT to format. So you could just brain dump your story, Maria, for example, and I'm using you again. We just brain dump your story just as you've done now, and then pop it into ChatGPT and say, can you please reformat this to sell this workshop, and give it the information for that workshop. And then it will use your words and your story and just reformat it. And ChatGPT gets much better and better and better the more you use it and the more you tell it, okay? The more it gets to know you and your voice. So that's everyone's homework, is to finish that story and to pop it into a proper email, which might not be going anywhere at the moment, even if it's just a pretend program, but it's good practice to do, okay? And then, which we're sort of running out of time for, but repurposing like a boss. So emails to social media. Okay. So what you can do is you can break your email into different Instagram captions, carousels, reels, Pinterest, pins, Substack posts, whatever it is you're doing. And you can drop the email into ChatGPT, and you can ask ChatGPT to repurpose it for an Instagram post for you and give it a bit more information. I want it to be warm. I want it to be funny. I want it to be this. I want it to be that. Do that. Again, it's your story, your words, your intellectual property. You're just getting it repurposed and you're saving yourself time. You could do a reel, an Instagram. You could pull a quote from it, for example, for Pinterest. If you're doing Pinterest, can you pull a really inspiring quote from this email that I can use on Pinterest? Okay, so that's another one. That's something that I'm starting to do because I'm starting to get back into Pinterest this year. So that's something that I'm doing with blog posts and different things. You know, pull one of my best quotes from this or something like that. So you can really use AI without losing your soul, and it won't replace you or your voice, but what it will do is help refine things for you, format things, put emojis in, just save you bloody time that we don't have time for. And, you know, some prompts, you know, think about the more detail you can give ChatGPT, the better the work it's going to do for you. So you can say, my personality is fun, I'm adventurous, I'm this, and this is the sort of vibe that I want my business to have, blah, blah, blah. So use some of those words. If you've done the personal branding workshop with us inside Shakti Roadmap, and I think we did it in Instagram Alchemy as well, use the work that you've done there when you've gone to, you know, this is my mood board, these are my words that I use, this is the vibe, this is my elevator pitch. If you've got an elevator pitch and you've done that, and just teach ChatGPT who you are and what you want your business to be. Okay. Now, some other key things to remember about your sales emails, and we addressed this with Lee. Every email must have a call to action. So work out what your strong call to action is, and then make sure that you have that. You need to remember to put your links in there so people can actually purchase the thing. Okay, so make sure you've got a link to your sales page. What you can do as well is you've done your offer, you've written your sales page, and I forgot to mention this. You've written the sales page, you've done all the work. So Trace has got a beautiful sales page for Breathe with Trace, her program that she's doing, her one-to-one program. You know, you can pull the information from that sales page and get it to write the emails directly from the sales page as well. You know, your educational emails and whatnot. So make sure you've got those call to actions in. Another thing that you can do as you're getting close to closing, you can put a countdown timer in. So if you've got Kajabi, it's got an option, you create an event and you can put a countdown timer in. And I'm sure that the other programs like MailChimp and whatnot, that they've got it as well. So look for that. That can be a really good way to get people to remember. Another thing to remember in the sales email is what's the other one that I had to tell you? So we've got call to actions, and make sure you've got links and buttons. If you've got the option to put a button in, a button is great, or you can just put a link over some words, find the link here. Make sure you're putting in that social proof. That's really important. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm just checking. Okay. So here's a bit of an action plan for you after today, because I love to put these things into practice. So a bit of a reminder. Pick one email sequence that you need to write, whether it's a launch, an evergreen, or a promo. Might even be a welcome sequence to you, just to you and your business. My welcome email sequence leads to sales as well. So it could be a welcome sequence. Write one subject line and one personal story to include. So you've got that already started. So work with that. Once you get going, you'll love this. And you can do all of this on a Word document in Google and Google Drive, and just keep writing and just brain dump it all out and just write it. And then what you'll do is, if you want to, you can get AI to reformat it and tidy it up for you. And then choose one email to repurpose into social media content this week. Okay, so you can use the same one and repurpose it into socials, and you don't have to post it yet, but you can just do it and have it there ready to go. Yeah. Once you get, the thing with this is it can feel really overwhelming when you first start writing emails and selling this way. And working online like this, but it gets easier and you find your own workflow. And now with ChatGPT, it makes life so different, and we can still show up authentically and be us. And really, like, I was speaking to one of my clients this last week, and she's like, it's been a game changer for her, because she really struggled with writing, with a bit of dyslexia and whatnot, and just not being able to focus, with a bit of mum life thrown in. And she said it's completely changed the way that she does things, and she can get so much more done now, and she doesn't stress about it, and she doesn't procrastinate anymore. So it really does help. So get the emails written, hit send. Don't worry if they're not perfect. If there's spelling mistakes, that's kind of cool these days with the AI, because if there's a spelling mistake, people know you're writing it yourself. That's when people know if I'm using AI, when there's absolutely no spelling mistake, because you'll be reading my emails now going, did she write this herself, or was this a ChatGPT? Some I do. I still mix it up. Sometimes I just write, and then sometimes I just repurpose. So sell with your heart. Make sure you're always showing your heart and leading from that beautiful space of love as well, and authenticity, because that's what people resonate with. They want your stories. They want to know you. They want to know what it's like to work with you, and they're out there. They're waiting for you. So definitely make email marketing a priority in your business. Don't let it get pushed down to the bottom of the pack. Now, is there any questions? Has anyone got any questions? I'm getting hot. I'm getting excited. It's cold this morning, and it's been raining, and it's just
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
Sorry. What's an average? I know I've read a few. I received different types of emails. Some are they'll do like a short section, and then it says, if you'd like to read more, click the link, and it goes to their blog on their web page.
Yep.
Is there like a length that's like, well, that's way too long for an email? Like, I know sometimes I just, oh my God, I've read for like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm done now, and I'll just skip to the next email. But an average engagement, that's not just my brain. It's like an average brain engagement in an email. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want it to be too long-winded and too much repeating yourself. You definitely don't want it to be too long-winded. I would just get the story out there, and once the story's out and you've related it back to what you're selling and you've put a call to action in there, that should be enough. I mean, look, you don't want to tell the story like, so I woke up that morning and I thought, I really want to do yoga teacher training, and then I decided I'd have a cup of tea and you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go back that far. Sometimes when you're writing, it can be really helpful to start with the punchline sometimes and then get the backstory happening, or start with the backstory leading up to the punchline, or the climax is what we call it in creative writing, to that sort of climax, and then relating it back to the offer that you're selling, or the education piece. Now, going back to that question about click this more on the blog, that would probably be more of a monthly newsletter type email. So what you want to make sure with your sales email sequencing, that you're only giving them one action to do on this page, on this email. That one action is to go to your sales page or your booking page. Okay, so you wouldn't put on a sales email a link. So for example, I'm selling my Marigold membership at the moment. So on my sales email, and sometimes I don't even put Instagram links on them. Okay, I don't even have Instagram links on them, because they generally, these people already know me. They're on my email list, so they know me pretty well anyway. So I will just have that Marigold membership sales page is the only call to action in those emails. But my monthly newsletter, I've got multiple call to actions. I read this book and I loved it. I listened to this podcast and I loved it. Here's what emails. Oh, I've lost you all. You there? Yeah. So there's a few different options. So that monthly newsletter, and then that monthly education, because I'm doing a monthly newsletter, which is just my favorite type, you know, my loves for this month, and what am I been up to, and just a bit of a personal insight. And then I've got an educational one as well, which is just adding value. So those two emails will have lots of links to different things. You might have bought a beautiful new essential oil that you love and you want to share it with your community. I bought this here at this shop, or I found a great shop online where I've got this beautiful loose fitting yoga wear, you know, whatever it is that you're sharing. And then you keep that to the newsletters, and then sales emails are just that one call to action. You could have a second call to action, which is send this to a friend. Send this to a friend who might be interested as well. Does that help, Maria? Yeah, beautiful. Anyone else got any questions? How's everyone feeling? Excited to write some emails, or a bit overwhelmed with all the things?
Feel good. I feel like if I can just write this and use, I love Chat GPT. It's amazing. Just rewords everything. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's so good. But even without having emails to send to, like if I can start working on stuff now, I know I won't be doggy paddling to try and keep that email list active when I do get people. So yeah,
that's right. And you can definitely do that as well. You can just have a running document where you're just dumping your ideas and you're writing things for future emails, and you can always come back to that. That's a great idea. Beautiful. Now we've got a book club coming up. So the book, I wanted to share this quickly, and there's going to be a couple of little changes in the Shakti community, because Kajabi have just and I'm going to pop this in the chat in the group today. My book's in my bag in the car. I should have brought it in. I might just go to Amazon. So we've got a book called we're going to do a startup book club, and we've got one which is the art of marketing, or the love of what is it? Which is it? Hang on, let me go to my. I bought it on Amazon. Where is it? I haven't started it yet myself, but it was marketing a love story, of course. Marketing a love story, how to matter to your customers. So this will be really great. So that's one book. And then we're going to do another book, which is more about money mindset and success mindset. Sacred Success, A Course in Financial Miracles. So this one is going to really help. I wanted to do this because exactly what you said, Maria, so many of us really struggle with barking. So many of us struggle. It's all right. With pricing our offering, finding the value and all of that. So this other book is yes. You know, that beautiful self-help. It's kind of based on that. So it's going to be really cool. So they're two books that we're going to start in the next couple of months. And I'll pop those in the community today. And then the community actual space, and when we go and where you'll find all the recordings, is actually Kajabi have just changed the way they do it. And it's going to look a lot different. So I'm going to switch that over today. And it's going to be so much better, so much easier for you to navigate. We can brand it in our own colors now. So yeah, that's going to be changing. So if you log on and you see that it's different, don't panic. It's still the same community. It's just I'm going to switch it over and update it all over the next couple of days. So it's going to be so much easier for us to navigate, which will be amazing. Not so clunky. I did a lot of testing on it, and yeah, it'll be amazing. So next month we are. Remember what our session next month is. So I'll just have to trust. Where is it in here? We've got. I think it's just double check. So yeah. See. So next month we are going to dive into long form magic. So the art of blogging. So we're going to do a lot more on writing and blogging next month. So that'll be really great. That's going to help your emails and everything as well. It's all connected. And then we've got Pinterest in May, and we're going to do a bit of a content check-in in June to reflect on our content for the first half of the month and what we've done, what was worked, and then sort of moving forward to plan and strategize for the rest of the month. We've got those two books coming up, so we'll probably do a book club in probably May. In end of April. It's only a really small book, that first one, Marketing a Love Story. So we'll do that, and then maybe July we'll do the other one, because it's a bit more of a bigger read. So yeah, and the Content Hub will be at the end of the month as well. So we have got that whole morning where we set aside to work together and create some content. If you haven't caught the hub from last month, I really recommend that you jump in, because we really dove into writing carousel posts, and it was really great. Okay, so jump in and have a little look and put that on in the background as you're creating some content. So that was really a good session, and that's only available. The Content Hub I keep up for a few weeks, and then I take it all down, and then I put the new one in each month. So they're not all there. You just get, because otherwise it gets a little bit too overwhelming otherwise. I think the Content Hub, Trace, is going to be on a, where are they? The Content Hub. I can't see the actual date. I'll get all that information out soon. I'm going to set up the new dates and get all of that out, but it should be on a Thursday, because usually I don't really work on a Friday. I kind of keep Fridays a little bit open and a bit free. So it should be the Thursday, I'd say. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Thursday the 3rd. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, that's not the content. Anyway, I'll get the dates to you. There's too many there. I can't quickly grab it. If you've got any questions or if you'd like me to go over your story and your email from today, please send it over and I will definitely have a look and give you some feedback at your finished product. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Edwina. Thank you.